Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Michelle if you're new here. I know it's been a while since I've popped my head in here. We have had some struggles and things going on. My son developed gastritis again, and I was well on my way to developing it, and I kind of did, but I started on my soups and my vegetables that I have shared in other videos, and that's kind of something I wanted to talk about today. I know I share homesteading stuff. It's been a while. It seems like honestly, people have lost interest in that, so I'm going to stick to the topic of trying to help people heal their gut. But anyways, most people who are saying that it doesn't matter what they eat, that their gastritis is bad or whatever, and I've noticed that people don't change even the basic things. They don't think about it. And one of the things is that if you're using Norton salt or just salts that you get from the store that have added ingredients, like that is basic. We put that in everything. And the other day I was looking for salt because we were using it in the pasture and I was just like dumping it, so I really didn't care what I had on hand, just needed some salt. Well, I had this salt right here. This is Morton's sea salt fine, but on the back of this one, let me see if I can get this to focus, it has something called yellow cruciate. And I'm going to post down here what this is, but this is an added ingredient that is totally unnecessary, which could be aggravating the lining in your stomach if you have gastritis. Now, the other Morton's table salt that most people buy has dextrose in it, and if you're like me, I can't tolerate corn, and it actually aggravates my stomach lining and causes me to develop gastritis. So if you're still using that salt, you just might want to switch. And there's just only a few salts I recommend. And one of them is just pure sea salt. Celtic, don't know how you pronounce this salt. And last but not least, this pink Himalayan salt. Now I use pink Himalayan salt, and so I buy huge bags in bulk. I think it's like a 50-pound bag, but we are also a really large family. There are 12 people in this house right now. Sorry, 11. So if you've been living with gastritis for years and you've not been able to find the trigger, maybe it's just your salts. But also then you have your water. You drink water. Some people drink it from the tap, which I don't recommend because you have added ingredients in the water too. You have fluoride, chlorine, and these things can aggravate your digestive system as well. So if you feel like you've tried everything, you might want to start right there at the basics and change your water, change your salt. And I have a video talking about how I healed my gastritis using diet, and it works. And I've found a few new things where it doesn't necessarily have to be soup. If I saute the same vegetables and add some herbs like basically parsley, thyme, and rosemary, and I just add salt, olive oil, and it works just as well to clear up gastritis. My son is getting over it. We caught it early, but I think we introduced food too soon, which brought the burning back. So next time we decided to go ahead and go, I think we ended up agreeing on a whole week of treating his gastritis to make sure that the stomach lining is healed, protected, and sealed again. And then we'll start eating normal foods again. But one of the things too that I wanted to talk about was that I seem to be getting digestion issues that cause my gastritis a week before my cycle. And his seems to flare up at around the full moon. And I watched a podcast, or listened to it and watched, because you can do both, right? And they were talking about how people who tend to have parasites, or I'm just going to link it with digestion issues, that you'll notice when there's a full moon that rashes can come out. Like I said, the digestive system starts messing up. And for myself though, it just seemed to correlate also with the full moon and with my cycle, but I have had a reoccurring pattern, like I said, a week before, that my digestive system messes up. And I'll share more about that with y'all because it's completely linked to my hormones and progesterone. And if you're not a guy, you cannot relate to this, but you can relate to the full moon. So that is kind of where I am, where I've been, and what's been going on. My son, I think, is 4 days into his treatment, and I know it's really hard to stick to changing your diet and eating certain foods only, because we're used to eating kind of like tons of variety of foods, and it's hard to control yourself. It's hard to be restricted, especially when you see other people eating foods that you want. And it's basically a mind thing. It's super hard. My son's having struggles with it. He gets upset, angry, depressed, frustrated, and I can totally sympathize with him. And so I have found he's old enough to cook his own food and everything, and he does. But when he gets to those points that I have to step in and help him and start cooking for him because he's frustrated and he doesn't want to do anything, he doesn't even want to eat. So I make his food and he sits down and has it. But I am the same way. I go and I lock myself in my room because I'm frustrated and I'm tired of eating only what I can eat. And I have found, though, that sauteing those vegetables on the stove in the olive oil helps a ton to not feel that way. And also, if you eat before you're hungry, so don't wait until, you know, your hunger cues are super high and then you're hangry, because it just works against you and it stresses you out, and it actually can make your stomach worse off, which is another thing I felt like caused my son's gastritis, is his stress level. He doesn't know how to stay calm when he's frustrated. He just automatically will get upset and he'll be angry. And it's, you know, it's a process to come out of that. But once you get the ball rolling, the process has to complete itself. And so I think that's something I'm going to try and work with him on, is stress management, because I think that would help him a lot, and that would help me or anybody who's struggling, like I said, with gastritis and digestion issues, because stress is key also to healing your gut. We are mind, body, and soul, and we have to take care of all of those things at the same time. And so, like I said, I'm going to be helping him, and I'll just give you a shot of the food that I have made him to eat so that he feels good, he's happy, he's satiated. There's 2 tablespoons of olive oil in here, and carrots. I would say there's probably maybe 2 cups of carrots and almost 2 cups of green beans, and then just some spices, or not spices, herbs, and a small amount of oil and a small clove. Some people can't tolerate onions or cloves, but I find in these tiny amounts he can do this. Then I top it with some pumpkin seeds, and I give him about half a cup of some pecans, and then a banana over here with a nut butter and some pumpkin seeds. And all of that comes out to almost 1,500 calories. My son is 13, he's growing, and he's actually lost some weight, so I'm pretty concerned because I need him to come back up. And the last time we treated his gastritis, we were actually able to help him gain weight, and so that is my goal. He's also shot up in height, but I don't see why he would have went down in his weight if that happened. He should have maintained his weight. But like I said, because I feel like he's discouraged and doesn't want to eat, and he doesn't want to make his foods, that he's just kind of neglected himself. And so I'm taking care of him and making sure now so that we can get his weight back up and so that he feels better. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe and stick around. And if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. I will see y'all in my next video. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.